I hope you remember from my last video how I pointed out the covenant relationship that God had with Israel, and that Israel, having agreed to the terms of that covenant, then began to violate the terms of that covenant. And I pointed out in many verses in the Old Testament and books of the Old Testament where Israel, time after time, had played the harlot, the whore, the prostitute with nations and governments all around them. They had committed sexual fornication and idolatry with nation after nation. Now I want to take the time to begin to move into the book of Revelations and discuss it. By looking at Revelation 11:1 through 8, you will see the story of two witnesses who will be killed during the time of tribulations, and their bodies will lay in the street. And in verse 8, it points out the great city, which is also called Sodom and Egypt, an allegory of the city of Jerusalem. How do I know that? If you will look at the end of verse 8, you will see where it says, where our Lord was crucified. So it is undoubtedly there and without refute that the great city being referred to there in the book of Revelation is Jerusalem, where our Lord was crucified. Before making a further comment on this great city being Jerusalem, I want to take a look at the 7 hills of Rome that people have speculated about and superimposed their beliefs on, and explain to you what those 7 hills of Rome actually are. From those who promote their conspiracy theories, they must somehow speculate and superimpose the 7 hills of Rome as though somehow it is identified with the Catholic Church. If you look at the picture in the video, I have circled in red all 7 hills of Rome. And if you will also notice, the 7 hills of Rome are on the east side of the river. Vatican City is on the west side of the river. So once again, historically and biblically, their theory does not fit. The Bible proves them wrong. History proves them wrong. Why they cannot admit they're wrong, I have no idea, when it is clearly seen here that the 7 hills of Rome are on the east side of the river and Vatican City is on the west side of the river. Nothing more than speculation, guesswork, coming from the Doomsday Gang who want to promote a theory, and that's all it is a theory with no biblical facts behind it whatsoever. One of the bigger mistakes that the people who speculate about this subject is their misinterpretation of the book of Daniel, especially chapter 7 and chapter 8, where Daniel is talking about the empires of the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Grecian Empire, and at the time of the Apostle John, the Roman Empire. What the book of Daniel is trying to do is show how these empires will overrun and destroy not only the world, but the city of Jerusalem as well. That is what Daniel is trying to do. Out of that, though, John is taking it and using it as a future empire that will be totally evil, controlled by a totally evil emperor that will arise out of the tribulation period. The similarities are there, but they do not match the book of Daniel. John is simply talking about a future evil empire controlled by an evil emperor that will be at the bidding of the Antichrist and the false prophet. Now let's take a look at the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 4 and 5, and see how this harlot is identified. If you will notice, it says Mystery Babylon. Mystery meaning that it is symbolic. It is called Babylon the Great, so it's a great city. What other city in the book of Revelation is identified as the great city? None other than Jerusalem out of chapter 11 of the book of Revelation. It can easily be read, Jerusalem the Great, the mother of harlots. Why is Jerusalem the mother of harlots? That is where God wanted his name to be known from, the very presence of God in the holy city of Jerusalem. But yet, by breaking the covenant relationship with God, they are the mother of all harlots in committing fornication, being the prostitute, the whore, and the harlot to every nation around them, and failing to carry God's name to the world as they should have done. So from the book of Revelation, chapter 17, Babylon the Great can be none other than the great city of Revelation chapter 11, which is clearly identified as Jerusalem. For further evidence, John is dealing with the nation of Israel at this time. And when he talks about the 7 mountains or the 7 kings, 5 have fallen, 1 is, and 1 is yet to come. He is talking about those who have controlled Jerusalem or Israel through the years. 5 have fallen: Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Medo-Persia, and the Grecian Empire are the 5 that have fallen. The 1 is the Roman Empire that existed during the writing of the book of Revelation when the Apostle John was alive. There is 1 to come. The 1 to come is the future evil empire controlled by an evil emperor. We do not know what that future empire is. We just know that it will be a combination of all the evil empires that have ever existed, and it will be totally evil. The best that can be said about it is that the future kingdom, the one John is talking about, the 1 to come, will be an evil empire that will be controlled by an evil emperor. One might ask, how can all this come about? How can Jerusalem be the power or the center of the world? You fail to forget the key verse mentioned in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11 through 12, where I have it underlined. For this cause, God will send them a strong delusion that they will believe the lie. There you have it. It is a story of God's history, not man's history. It is a story of God's dealing with humanity, not humanity's dealing with God. God is bringing his world to his conclusion, not our conclusion. He will do this in his own time and not in our time. But whatever ever happens during that period, those who speculate forget and seem to forget easily that all of this will come about because God will see to it, and he will send them a strong delusion that they will believe a lie. Will he send you a strong delusion in believing a lie? Can you not see from the Bible and the Bible alone that the only harlot, the only whore of Babylon, can possibly be none other than the holy city of Jerusalem? Until next time, this is Ben Golly saying God bless.